jurisprudence because
Matagal na to, Mr. Chair. Pero landmark ito eh.
Oo nga, matagal
Kasi
yan.
pagka hindi naman, siguro hanggang ngayon naman, relevant pa ito. Otherwise, the Supreme Court.
Pero iba na kasi yung iba na kasi yung texture ng ating ng evolution ng
Meron din naman,
technology.
there's the Office of the Ombudsman. Ang sabi niya, a public official, more especially an elected one, kagaya mo, Mr. Chair, should not be onion skin.
Wala na, makapal na mukha na.
Pero you're asking for jurisprudence, nandito po lahat yun. Ito, recently ito kasi may ombudsman na tayo ngayon.
But most likely, naging basis ng ombudsman was the jurisprudence of the Supreme Court of the onion skin. But I think kasi hindi naman yung skin natin ng yung damdamin natin eh. Ang problem yung damdamin ng mga nakapaligid sa atin, pamilya natin, anak natin. Sila yung tinatamaan dito eh. Di ba? I know that we should not. But, well, sabagay, desisyon po yan ng kataas-atasang Korte Suprema and we respect that. But I think with the evolution of the different technology, yung mabilis na evolution, I hope that the decision, mga jurisprudence natin, must also evolve. Yeah, sa deepfake. So, yeah, tama. So, pagbigyan pa naman po natin ng ating pong kasamahan, Kong Geraldine Roman, you are now recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Before I pose my questions, I would like to read my manifestation. Distinguished colleagues, honorable members, fellow Filipinos, I'm here today not just as a legislator, not just as a representative of the 1st District of Bataan, but also as a journalist and Filipino who believes in the power of truth. We are here today because our democracy, the very foundation of our freedom, is being threatened, not by an invading army, not by foreign forces, but by something far more insidious, the deliberate, systematic, and weaponized spread of disinformation. The Constitution guarantees every Filipino the right to free speech and expression, a right so sacred that we as lawmakers must defend it at all costs. But let me be clear, freedom of speech is not freedom to deceive. It is not a license to manipulate, to slander, to fabricate lies that distort reality and poison public discourse. In the past, politics was fought in the halls of Congress, in debates, and in ballots. Today, it is fought in the trenches of social media, where armies are not made of soldiers, but of paid trolls and malicious vloggers, whose weapons are not guns, but lies, half-truths, and manufactured outrage. Social media was meant to be a platform of empowerment, a bridge between leaders and citizens, an avenue for truth to flourish. It has allowed the voiceless to be heard, the marginalized to be seen, and the oppressed to be recognized. Napakarami pong benepisyo ng social media. But in the wrong hands, social media has become a megaphone for falsehoods. We have seen how well-funded networks of disinformation can rewrite history, vilify decent public servants, and deceive millions into believing fiction over fact. Who among us here has not seen false accusations spread like wildfire, ruining reputations in just mere minutes? Who amongst us has not been attacked by a faceless troll, hiding behind the anonymity of a screen, spewing venom without accountability? Natatanda ko po noong 17th Congress ay kumalat po yung chismis sa Twitter, sa Facebook, na ako daw po ay bumoto sa zero budget ng Commission on Human Rights, which is really a big, big falsehood, and that's just an understatement. How can I possibly deprive a government agency of its budget when it is in fact the agency that is crucial to the implementation of one of my pet bills, which is the Social Equality Bill? I also remember the time when bintangan po akong bumoto favor sa hindi pagkakaloob ng franchise ng ABS-CBN. Hindi ko po ginawa yun. Hindi po ako bumoto favor sa pagkait ng franchise ng ABS-CBN. Pero hindi po ako nag-resort sa fake news o sa pang-aatake para harapin itong challenge na ito. To resort to fake news would be entering into the cycle of untruth. I reminded myself that I could not combat the lies with more lies. Let me share with you a painful truth. Fake news is not just a nuisance, it is a danger. When voters believe in lies, they make decisions based on deception. When public opinion is shaped by propaganda, democracy ceases to function. When fabricated stories become louder than facts, the people suffer. We've seen the impact of fake news on real lives. Ordinary citizens harassed and vilified because they dare to speak the truth to power. Journalists and even our colleagues have been red tagged, threatened, or worse, killed simply for doing their jobs. Legitimate policies have also been dismissed as conspiracies, while incompetence is masked by manufactured narratives. So I think this is the reason why we are here today. We cannot and must not stay silent in the face of this growing cancer in our information system. We're duty bound not just by our oaths as legislators, but by our responsibility as Filipinos to call out disinformation wherever and whenever it appears. As members of this committee, we are investigating the existence of troll armies and malicious bloggers not to stifle free speech, but to protect the sanctity of truth. And to those who say, let the people decide what is true and what is false, I ask, how can the people decide when the lies are louder than the truth? How can we expect our countrymen to make informed decisions when the system itself is polluted by lies and deception? To my fellow lawmakers, I say, we must act decisively. The responsibility is in our hands to craft policies that promote digital accountability, media literacy, and fact-checking mechanisms that protect our people from the poison of fake news. And to the social media platforms, I ask, will you continue to profit from division, from lies, or from deceit? Or will you step up and be a force for truth and integrity? To the public, I urge, tanungin po ninyo kung totoo ang binabasa ninyo. Verify before you share. Hold accountable those who seek to deceive you. I-report po natin ang mga nagpapalaganap ng fake news. Because at the heart of this battle is the truth, ang katotohanan, not just as a concept, but as a pillar of our democracy. A well-informed citizenry is the strongest defense against tyranny, against manipulation, against the corrosion of our values as a nation. I leave you with this thought. The power of lies is that they spread easily. But the power of truth is that once it takes root, it cannot be erased. And so, let us plant the seeds of truth. Let us plant the seed of truth. Let us defend it with all that we have. From the government, let us practice also what we preach. We should hold ourselves to a higher standard and take the higher moral ground. This message is universal, regardless of our political inclination, whether you are pro-administration or in the opposition. It's regardless of our profession, socioeconomic status, and other personal and collective circumstances. It is about doing what is right in our pursuit of truth and justice. The future of our country depends on it, Mr. Chair. So with that, I will proceed to my question.
All right.
Okay lang po ba?
Go ahead, ma'am. You still have the floor.
Nais ko po sanang tanungin, napansin ko po dito sa ating pagpupulong na tila walang representative ang mga major social platforms like Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. At palagay ko ang kanilang opinion and insider information ay mahalaga upang makapagkaroon po tayo ng policies that reflect the realities that we face with social media and the spread of fake news. Nais ko sanang tanungin si Miss Malou Tiquia